Has this AI literally just outsmarted me? Oh my god, how did I miss that? Oh my gosh. Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So basically, I created a chess engine. I say that in question tone because it's not very good, and I made it as my A-level project for computer science. So I thought it would be nice and cool at the time, make a chess engine for someone who loves chess. So that's what I did. You might be thinking, why am I showing it like this for now? It's because, again, I didn't program it very well. So it means even the interface, like, I can't full screen it because I didn't really account for zooming in. Yeah, so let's just forget about that. So yeah, I just thought it would be really interesting to see kind of what it was all about again, because it's been so long since I've opened this up and actually played around with it, and I was wondering if I could beat it. Like, I'm still very much aware it was absolute shite, so it'll be interesting, but this is a more of a test of the thing that I created rather than myself, I think. I hope. We'll see. But first, like, how cute is this? Like, I did okay, right? You can choose themes. Oh, that's no. Let's just stick with the traditional board though, just so we can actually see what's happening. So these themes were okay. Let's just get right into it. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so in the interest of still being alive when this video ends, I'm gonna set it to like a real low depth of literally like 2, just because anything higher than that, I think is gonna suck. It's gonna take a really long time, and that might not be terrible, but I don't want to be waiting for that long for each move. So there is alpha beta printing in this, as well as like different considerations of move ordering, etc. But it's just still not that great. I'm gonna be honest. So let's just start easy. We just want to beat the damn thing. Let's just beat the damn thing. So let's start with white. Let's see how good this thing is. Okay, e5. All right, it's not so bad. I'm kind of proud. d5. Interesting. Okay, what if I go really crazy? What's it gonna do? Yeah, you're gonna take on e4. Are you gonna spot mates? What if I go queen h5? Are you gonna see queen f7 as mate? It does. I'm hoping that wasn't like a random move and they did actually spot the mate. I'd be happy if that's the case. Okay. Let's gang up on this f7 square by going bishop c4. What's it gonna do? Is it gonna spot it? Um. Oh, no. Okay, that's fine. Let's go into like, I know there's many different ways I could take an f7, but I want to go into an endgame here to see kind of how it reacts, how it handles. I mean, we're already a pawn up, so it's all right. It's all right. Okay, let's just get our knights active. I want to go knight d5 here. I just want to see how it handles really weird things. Okay, let's just castle. Can it get itself out of this weird position? I mean, because it's set to such a low depth, I can't imagine it doing very good. Okay, it's not making terrible moves, to be fair. It's actually doing okay. All right, I'm gonna go knight d5 check. Are you gonna trade? Yeah, okay, alright, alright. Alright, now I'm hitting b7. I wonder if it spots that. No, okay, so it's not that there yet. Okay, fair enough. Alright, let's just pick up some material then. To be fair, bishop bishop g7 is not the worst move, so that's not awful actually. I'm gonna pick up the exchange. Okay, well I know taking the rook is better, but I'm gonna keep giving this some chances, right? A little bit of chance to redeem itself. Come on, I believe in it. Come on, rook c8. All right, I'll go bishop d5. h5, interesting. Okay, let's go rook e1. Let's pick up this pawn as well. a5. Okay, so it really likes the pawns. It really likes the pawns moving. Okay, let's just take up here. All right, let's go. Let's go. Okay. All right, let's go d3. Let's get this bishop out. Okay. Rook g8. And now I don't really know what it's doing. I don't think it's playing the best, like, very good moves right now. Let's just trade off this pair of bishops here with bishop e5. Oh, king e6. Ugh. I think if we had a higher depth on this, it would be better, but slower, obviously. So yeah, I guess it was check. Yeah, no man, I forgot that myself. All right, rook e1. Take it. I actually forgot I had a bishop there. Yeah, okay, never mind. It's still fine. It's still fine. I just completely forgot I was a piece up. All right, let's just whip off these pawns. See, what is it doing? What is this rook placement? I don't get it. You're gonna see? Nah, you're not gonna see rook a7. Boo. Okay, let's just whip off these rooks. All right, am I gonna be able to? Let's just try and checkmate as fast as possible. I wonder. I will definitely be able to see this back rank mate. So let's just be safe here. Let's go h3. Don't be mated at the last minute. So, all right, take the pawns. That's all it can do. All right, and now this is mate. Great. Well, okay. Yay. I guess we won. Yay. I mean, I'm glad I won. I was hoping I'd win. But okay, it was a bit shite. Okay. But that was on like a depth of like literally like 2. Like it was really low. So let's up the depth and let's see where we can go from there. All right, now that this bad boy is cranked up to depth of a 3, one more depth. This is going to be a GM level now. 100%, 100%. I'm going to play the chess AI as black. So let's see what they choose as their first move. Oh, it's slow. Oh gosh, it's slow. E4. Okay, well, I chose a decent move. Let's just go simple chess. Let's just go e5. I know it's always going to take a lot longer to think at the beginning because there are so many more states that the engine needs to consider. But hopefully it filters down soon because like, this is taking forever. Like, I could probably play some blitz games in between this dude's thinking time. Knight f3. Okay. Okay. It's playing a bit better than the depth 2, which is good. Bishop e5. Okay, you know what? I'm actually kind of proud. Like looking at this little child of mine. Like it's quite cute. I'm quite proud of how it's doing. One thing I'm not proud of is the fact that I didn't flip and program a flip the board feature. So I'm playing as black, but I can't flip the board. So I'm very sorry if it's really confusing on how this is being played. Now I don't know what line it's gonna go down. I don't know whether it's gonna take the knight and go for like a material kind of gain. So like take the knight and go for e5, not really calculating or knowing much about obviously the other lines like queen d4, which then hits the knight and the pawn at the same time. Another thing, I didn't program arrows, so I'm sorry. Try and visualize with me. Or whether it's going to be a bit scared and because it can't calculate that far, just drop the bishop back. Or trade on c6, take the knight on c6 and so if it's going greedy, which it is probably going a bit of a greedy approach, I reckon it's going to take on c6 and then take on e5 and just not know what happens. What's it going to do? Oh, man, I'm actually excited. It did decide to take on c6. Interesting. Okay, so I think it is doing what I think it's doing. I think it's going to take an e5 now, thinking it's one material. I don't know. Because you've got knight takes e5, queen d4, which hits the knight and the pawn at the same time. And if they try and defend the knight, I've got stuff like bishop c5 coming as well. So it's gonna get messy if white's not careful. Oh, they decided to go for it. All right, let's see if white can handle themselves though after queen d4. What is white gonna do? I wonder if they'll be able to spot it right now. I really hope it doesn't just sack the knight or just blunder. Like white is still doing like okay here. They just need to find an appropriate move. So literally something as simple as like knight f3 or something now would be fine. Is it gonna do it though? F4. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm glad that it's spotted to defend the knight, but I don't know if that's the best move. What if I go bishop c5 right now? Like, I know I can take on e4 with check, but I want to see if it can detect that I'm threatening mate on f2. So actually, I just realized it. Like, white does have queen e2, which defends the e4 pawn and the mate at the same time. So it'd be quite cool to see if the engine does actually see that and plays that move, because that would be probably the best move for white here. Rook f1 is also possible to stop the mate, but then e4 does hang. And the king is just naturally quite weak. I think after queen e2, I might have knight f6. And really the plan is just gang up on this e4 pawn. Queen f3, nice, good. Yeah, so along the lines I was saying, like queen e2, queen f3, those are quite good moves. So I'm glad I managed to find that. Let's go with knight f6, and let's just add some more pressure to this e4 pawn. I guess they can go d3, which is also seems good. Hold on, shit. Have I just like made a mistake? Am I actually losing to my own flipping engine? There's no flipping way. I like didn't even take on e4 because like, oh, there's no way they're gonna see the mate on f2. This is a sign. This is a sign people don't take AI for granted. c4. Interesting. I'm confused. Why did it think of c4? Okay, I'm gonna just take on e4 then. Unless I'm missing something. No, I'm so confused. That c4 was like such a random move. Like, it was doing pretty well up until that point. And then I don't know where the hell that came from. I don't know whether to test this bot in an endgame or just try and go straight for the attack and like just go for checkmate as soon as possible. Because now I can, if I want to choose to go queen f2 next, that kind of forces a trade of queens and kind of see how it does in an endgame. But as we've seen from the previous example, even though it was on like a low depth, it still played pretty shite. So I want to see if it can maybe detect my attack at least. We can see. Whilst there's nothing immediate, there's definitely things that I can plan and do. First, I can even do something risky like f6 just to kick away this knight because this knight is not looking too good. Once I kick it around, maybe I can even try and like pose some bishop g4 sack because then I can get my queen f2 in. But then king d1 and it's not so clear because the king like runs off to the side. So I need to still be careful with that. I can't just be careless because I can't lose. I can't lose. But this should definitely be interesting. So yeah, I thought it was quite interesting that I can kind of see the kind of moves that it's thinking about here, which is quite cool. And these aren't like the real like engine evaluations. It gives a score. Oh, we've got a new move, 93. Let me make a move first, so this thing can take 7 years to think. But 93 actually does stop like queen f2. So this thing is actually doing its job. Oh, can I go bishop g4 here? Bishop g4. Queen g4, queen d3. That sounds quite good. I'm gonna go for it. Let's see if it can handle tactics. Probably not. But yeah, like I thought it was quite interesting. Like I can see it like thinking of moves at the moment, and this isn't like the true engine evaluation. It's kind of like the score based on the criteria I've set it to. But saying like, for example, white playing b4, like b4 doesn't make any sense here. If b4 is played, then white's queen is dropping, and that's why it's ranked so negative, which is like really good for black. And we've got another move that it's thinking of here, which is queen e3, which also is not a bad move, and they've ranked it positive, which is true, right? Because queen e3, you're saving the queen, you're offering a queen trade. So I wonder if that's the move white is going to choose. Because actually, yeah, if you look at white's options, you got take on g4, which might not be the worst thing. It does allow queen d3. Queen e3 offering a trade of queens, or queen f1 just to get out of the escape. And that's just quite passive, really. It's defending the knight on d3 and defending the mate. It's kind of just defending everything, but it's not really the move you want to play in this kind of situation. It won't be long before I'll be able to find some kind of tactic to break through anyway. So it seems like it's evaluating it the right way, which is nice to see. It's just a shame it's so goddamn slow. But like even on the previous move, like we can see the number of game states that it considered to get to the idea of knight d3 was 70,541. Like that's just a mass number, and that's even with things like pruning, like so not considering certain paths based on like different scoring systems, even more metrics such as, you know, positional advantages, material advantages. Like that's just a mass amount. And can you imagine if we thought about that many states? And I can see why it was taking so long. It's got quite a few options here. So, oh, so I have to take on g4. Okay, all right, let's see how this goes. So I'm going to take on d3. I guess, okay, they can take on g7. But if they do take the pawn on g7, it's way too risky. Like, the king is just gone. I've got maybe, there's got to be some kind of forcing me to do this. Like, bishop f2 check, king d1. And, oh, there's got to be something. Is there something? I mean, worst case, I've got bishop d4 back again, which hits the queen and defends the rook at the same time. So I do have some nice alternatives to just keep everything nice and defended. It's just whether white's going to go for it or not. If they've got the material hat in mind, they probably will take on g7. and not really think about much about the king's safety here. That's one thing I didn't really program. I didn't really program that in this bot. I didn't really program much about king's safety. So that's probably why it doesn't care at all. Sad times. Oh, it went for queen g7. Okay, spicy. Spicy. All right, this is going to get interesting. All right, so I don't think I have anything forcing here in terms of mating this king. Like, I've got bishop f2, king d1. There's not really much after that. But bishop d4 does stop this threat. I'm just wanting to see if there's anything more. To be fair, I've got bishop f2, king d1. I want to go bishop d4 to hit the queen. I'm also threatening knight f2 check. So I think that looks pretty good. Let's just go for it. Let's do it. Hopefully this should be quite quick because there's surely not a lot of moves to consider, right? There's actually only one move. There's only one move. There we go. I was like, what are you thinking about? All right, let's go to d4 now. Okay, so this hits the queen and defends my rook at the same time. So I don't think white has anything fancy going on here. They've just got to retreat their queen. They don't even have any checks because e5 is covered as well. So bishop d4 is kind of a great move. I like it. And who doesn't love a bishop in the center with so many free diagonals? It's actually slaying. So my guess is white is going to retreat their queen back, maybe to, well, g4 would be a big mistake because if the queen goes back to g4, then knight f2 is going to come in and this fork is going to be deadly. It's just going to pick up the queen. Is it going to see that though? We'll find out. Even if the queen goes like anywhere else, like to be fair, they actually can't really go anywhere else. Queen g4, queen g3 can't go because the knight, you can't go to g5 because of the knight. F6 because of the knight as well. The only actual safe square would be h6. That's the like only absolutely guaranteed safe square for the queen to actually move to, which is quite interesting. So after queen h6, let's see what I have here. I've got knight f2 check, king e1, and I can pick up the rook, but I want more. Maybe knight f2 check, king e1, queen e4. But after queen e4 check, king f1. It's just, I've got so many pieces there, like surely there's a mate somewhere. If they go queen h6, I think I've got knight f2, king e1, queen e4 check, king f1, and then I can just go knight d3. And that's going to set me up really nicely with queen e1 mate. I think that'll be quite a nice way to checkmate. So let's see if it goes that way. I don't know what this thing is going to do. I can see it is looking at these ideas, right? It is looking at queen g3, scores it with a really high result for black because, yeah, we can just take the queen. Knight c3 also scores badly, sure, because you're going to lose the queen anyway. And queen h6 is the highest score for white so far. So, and I agree, right? Queen h6 is the only safe move that white can play here. So it's nice to see that it's seeing that. Have I just created, like, is this thing gonna like take over the world? So the interesting thing is that it's already analyzed the move queen h6, but the way that this algorithm is working, oh, and it's played it, thank God. But the reason why it was still taking a while to think of that move is because like the pruning doesn't necessarily, it stops branches from consideration, but it still needed some, oh, my uni's emailing me. It still needed to consider those alternate options. Okay, king e1, you know, like those comparisons. If you're really into chess, let's go with this queen e4 idea actually. Let's see if it works. If you are into chess, you're interested in how chess engines work, I definitely would recommend looking into those algorithms. You've got the Minimax, alpha beta pruning algorithms. They are, oh, it's playing so fast now, I love it. Super useful for chess and in game theory in general. So definitely look into it. That's what I used for this. All right, let's go knight d3. Now, this is going to set up queen e1 checkmate very nicely. Now, the thing is, the bot might be able to see this, but if it can't do anything about it, it's just going to randomly just like shit itself. So let's see what it does. It's not like unstoppable. They could go like g3 or like g4 or something. So after queen e1, king g2 and just kind of run away. But if you move the g pawn, I do have queen f3 and that is also mate. So is there a way to avoid it? Really? Maybe the most I have is queen h4 because queen h4 defends the e1 square. So I can't go queen e1's mate straight away. Gosh, I swear to God, if it finds queen h4, Like, just let me win. I think if it goes queen h4, I'm gonna take on f4 with the knight, and that way now I'm setting up queen e2 check and queen g2 check, and like surely it can't defend like one of those mates. Like, oh my gosh, the amount of threats we've created. But to be fair, I'm pleased that it's holding on. It's holding on, and you know what? I'm proud. Okay, so for some reason it's evaluated queen f8, which is, I can see it's like it's starting to think about, you know, suicide, right? Like just blunder the queen, queen f8, just delay the checkmate as soon as possible. But hopefully it comes to the realization that it doesn't have to die just yet. Queen h4 stays in the game for a couple moves longer. Let's see. Queen h4 has been considered, and we can see it's been scored a lot less severe as sacrificing the queen. I mean, yeah, I'd hope so. It looks like the bot has seen queen h4, and I think it will play it. So let's just hope and let's see if they actually do. Oh, they did play queen h4. Lovely, lovely. I'm kind of rooting for white now, you know. I kind of want them to win in a sense. All right, let's take on f4. Again, I don't think there's anything else here, right? There's no forcing mate or anything. No, let's just go knight f4 then. So now I am threatening two different kinds of mate. I've got queen e2 mate and queen g2 mate. Now, can white stop this one? I don't think so. I think it is now officially over for white. I don't think they can stop this anymore. So let's see what kind of nonsense the engine comes up with as potential candidate moves. Okay, it has chosen to go queen e1. Oh, well, queen g2. Oh my god. I just realized queen g2 isn't even mate because I can't move my queen. It's in a pin. Oh my god. Has this AI literally just outsmarted me? Oh my god. How did I miss that? Oh my gosh. I'm shook right now, mainly because I didn't think it would actually. Well, aren't you glad you didn't sacrifice your queen then? Damn. Well, it looks like we're gonna have to go into this endgame then. Oh my gosh. How did I not see that? Okay, well, this is still definitely better for me. And after king e1, I have knight d3, which is quite nice. Oh, to be fair, I was going to say, like, knight d3, if they wanted to save the bishop with king d1, then I have knight f2, which picks up the rook. But if I go knight d3, they also have king e2, and the rook defends the bishop. So actually, no, just too many tactics. Knight d3, I don't think the AI is going to look this far, though. So this is where I might get ahead even more. So after knight d3, king e2, I can take on c1. And yes, the rook defends it and can take back. But then bishop b2 comes and forks the two rooks. And that's exactly what we're going to see right now. It thinks it's saved itself. Well, looky here. Where it's in check, it's going to take it. And bishop b2 is going to come with a really harsh blow. Fork the two rooks. Well, to be fair though, it did well. It did well. I'll say that. Okay, so we see that, yep, and now this beauty move. It would have been even really cool if they had rook e1 check to try and get at least one piece away from the attack, but this rook is just blocked in the corner, so there's nothing they can do. Ouch. I don't know whether it's just going to play like completely trash now that it knows it's already not doing great. So instead of trying to play like the best moves, it's just gives up and just like sacrifices everything, right? So it will be quite interesting to see what it actually does. I'm assuming it's still going to play like the best move, not necessarily the best move, but a decent move given, you know, the position. I don't think it's gonna just go like really sad. I don't think it's just gonna play terribly. I feel like I've hurt its feelings. Knight c3, interesting. Okay, well, let's just I guess that makes sense, yeah. Let's just whip off one of these rooks then. Alright, so it has taken, that's all okay. Let's just castle. Let's just mate as fast as we can, you know. Knight e4. Okay, interesting. Okay, that's an interesting move. What if I just pin? What if I just pin you here? I mean, white can still get out of it quite easily with just like king f3 or something. I get it kind of wants to centralize his knight. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I kind of remember adding like some kind of preferences to where you want your pieces to go. Like, you know, knights in the center, that kind of thing. So that's probably why I really wanted to move his knight there. But yeah, probably not. Maybe not the best in this case. D3. oh, I can see what you're doing, but I think this is where it's kind of, it's either lacking, you know, some kind of tactical ability, which it is, to spot these kind of pins and things like that. So it kind of is aware of what a pin is. I don't think it understands the severity behind pins, right? So I don't think it actually understands that a pin could result in losing material. It just knows what it is. To be fair, I say that sounds weird, but actually that is the mental attitude of a lot of chess players who, you know, they just, whenever they're losing, they just can't play anymore and they just like play awfully. And it makes sense because like, it would take a toll, like mentally, if you're in a losing position. I mean, you just got to try and swindle. I don't think this bot knows how to swindle though, so. Okay, it's taken back. All right, let's see if we can do this quite fast. Let's just take with check. Again, it should be a relatively fast move. There's only like 3 options of where they can go. King f3, that's pretty standard. Let's go back here. I want to try and get the rooks across and just keep checking the king that way. h4, okay. Let's get this king across. So that's king g3, king g4. All right, king g4. Let's go rook g7. So, okay, this will be interesting to see if it goes h3 or h5. All right, it does go h3. Okay, so it is playing it quite safe. Okay, well, now that I'm going to go rook f2 so that I can take this pawn on g2. And mate should very quickly follow from that. Rook b1. Oh, sorry. Rook b1. Wrong side of the board. You could have gone rook g1. That would have probably been a better shot. But okay, let's just take here. And yeah, if their rook moves off the back rank, then I'm just gonna go rook b1 and rook g1 and then rook h1 mate. Obviously there's king h2, but I can always try and whip off the h pawn as well. Alright, rook b3. Interesting. Alright, let's try this then. Let's see if it knows that rook h1 is mate. I wonder if it's going to go king h2 to stop it. Or it could also go rook b2 to after rook h1 check, rook h2 blocks that checkmate. It did go rook b2. Interesting. Okay, so it knows that this is mate. Okay, well, let's mate it this way then. Come on. It has to go rook h2. That's fine. All right, let's trade. And let's just get our king in. Let's do it. It's not going to have a lot of moves to think about now. Yeah, go on. I just got not flipping stalemate. Okay, here we go. All right. I kind of feel bad. Why do I feel bad for being a robot? Okay, why do I like... I know it's like not like robot, but it's still like... It's kind of sad. Okay. Let's go h5. Okay, let's just make a waiting move across here. And now this is checkmate. Oh, we won. Well, hey, we won. So yeah, that was me playing against my AI. That was pretty cool, actually. It was really nice to see what it was like and what was created back then. It would actually be quite interesting if I like... now knowing a lot more programming to be able to like go and add more stuff and add more features. I don't think that'd be very useful, but it'd be quite interesting to see what I would add given how like my chess has also adapted since then. I think it was quite interesting, and obviously the second game the bot played a lot better than the first one. That's because we had it to a higher depth. It did take quite a while, but especially the opening was more standardized, and to fair, it still made mistakes, but the one thing that I found in the second game that the bot did quite well compared to the first is when I was threatening things, it really did well in finding decent moves to help combat that. Like, it made mistakes, then I was like, oh, maybe I should do this to like mitigate the damage. And that was quite cool to see, because I even missed it. It even got me at some point. I thought I was mating, and then I missed that it was actually pinning my queen to the king. So that was really cool to see. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy these kind of videos, then do let me know what else you'd like to see. And if you do like what you see, then please do consider subscribing, because that would really help. Thank you all so much for joining, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye.